Hi everyone, welcome back to the London Football Show. International break's over, Premier League football's coming back, so it's time for another episode. It's been a while since our last one. A lot of changes happening since our last episode. We'll start off with Man United. The inevitable happened. Eric Ten Hag sacked, and yeah, a new managerial appointment. Ross, how are you feeling?
Looking forward to it. As always, got to be optimistic, especially as a United fan. Um, do have a few concerns. Obviously, we don't want to be going through this whole process of managers going in and out. I would ideally like to see someone that was more permanent. I thought Ten Hag might have been that guy. Unfortunately, it wasn't. So this is the situation. I'm looking forward to Amorim, but again, the same could have been said about Ten Hag when he came in. He did well at Ajax. I think in terms of win ratios and output, Amorim provided or did the same as Ten Hag did. Not saying that he's not going to be different. However, I am going to be a bit skeptical. I'm going to take it for what it is and not what it can be. I'll let him come in and I'll let his tactics, his football, his style of play come in and do the talking, and hopefully he can provide.
And what do you think? Does that Champions League result give you like confidence that you can replicate what he did at Sporting at Man United?
Maybe, but I feel like there's a lot of influence. I think, Pep, he's going through a purple patch, a bad purple patch, four losses in a row. I think Sporting were just on form. They were at home. Their striker, sorry, I can't pronounce his name. He's just on form. He's been performing, even in the international break, he was performing for Sweden. So I think things were just going Sporting's way and not going Man City's way. And I think that fixture came at the right time and it just worked out for them. Um, I guess for myself as a United fan, it's great. I mean, we all love to see City lose. Wish it came a bit earlier, but it is what it is. Um, Coming to United, my only concern is how he's going to play with three central defenders. Is he going to keep up that same tactic, that formation? Is he going to see four at the back and see how that goes? I'm not too sure, but hopefully he comes in and he can sort that out. I'll give him until maybe after the winter break-ish to settle the team, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
I'll add something briefly before I get James's thoughts. Obviously, the main thing is Amrim. As long as he, from an outside perspective looking in, obviously I hope he fails. Obviously, I'm a rival fan, but I'm saying as long as he sticks to his playing style, he's free at the back. If that's what he's done throughout his whole career, I've seen a bit of him at Sporting, but I don't know where he was before. I haven't really got too much like knowledge on him. But as long as he sticks to his philosophy and everything, that's sort of the main thing. And then you build from there. You can't do what Ten Hag did 2 months in, basically say, I can't play the Ajax way. Basically, everything I've done throughout my career, we're gonna scrap that now and do something else. That's what as long as he does that, then I think he's got a good chance of succeeding or better chance than Ten Hag did. James.
He has to do that. He has to do that because that's why they've brought him in, because of that style they want. It's that new
Yeah.
sort of like style that they want to play. They want to be more attractive. They need a young manager. They've gone for that, Ten Hag, Ajax sort of. He did well there. The only concern I have is that it's his first time managing outside of Portugal, I believe. So I just sort of worry that the expectation will be too high because that's what you would expect it being Man United. We don't really, I think really they just need to get through the season and show a little bit of understanding and give him a little bit of time and then let him. I think he will be good. I think he will be good. I
Yeah, I do
think he
too.
will
Yeah.
be, the players that Man United have will relate to him better, I think. I think the younger players will. I think, but it will take time, and I hope he sticks to the formation 3-4-3. Um, and let's just see what happens. But in terms of Ten Hag, I just think, you know, was he unlucky to lose his job? Possibly, but then possibly not. He won trophies the 2 seasons that he had. So, like, but it was just, again, the sort of like, it's similar to us at West Ham. It's what you see. It's what you see how the players play for Ten Hag. They weren't really playing for him. They didn't really show any sort of like commitment to him, even though they would say they were. But you never saw it. And I was privileged to be at the last game of his, you know, and
Oh yeah.
he sort of
West Ham got
he
him
didn't give
sacked.
any indication that he would go. Um, he was more frustrated about the West Ham winning with the penalty decision. But I just think it's like now time to move on, draw a line under it all. give him time, but it just shows how difficult it is to replace a manager like Ferguson. Man United are taking their time to get it right, you know. And I think you're not going to see a manager like Ferguson do years and years. It's interesting that Pep's extended his contract. You don't know why, possibly because of that appointment. I think Pep wasn't too bothered about losing to him because I think he wants to give Man United fans a sense of like they're better, but he knows what he's doing, Pep. You know, and as Vicentham said, Man City are in a bit of a bad run at the moment, but they will still come good and they will still compete at the highest level. It's now up to Man United to get through this season and then try and compete for top four on a consistent basis. And when I mean compete for top four, I mean be in the top four for the majority of the season, not just scraping at the very end. They've got to be in the top four throughout the whole season and pushing for like runners up or even first. But for me, it's a good appointment for football because it'd be nice to see his brand of football and see what happens.
Yeah, I'll just briefly add on what James said at the end. With like Ten Hag, what Man United now need that I think to do is like, yeah, they won trophies the last 2 years, but it reminded me of our sort of like latter years with Abramovich. We were just like nicking trophies here and there, but I knew we weren't building or going anywhere. Obviously, it's nice on the day when you win the trophy, but I always go back to Klopp. When Liverpool in his first 4 years, they weren't winning anything, but everyone, we all saw it. We saw Liverpool gradually getting stronger. Champions League final. The next year they improve. I think Champions League final again with fourth with Champions League final. Then they won it the year after, won the Prem the year after that. They were just getting stronger and stronger, but the trophies came eventually, and then they had their sort of 3 4 years where consistently they were winning trophies to go along with like their good football. So I feel like that's what Man United need to get back to, which is what I've been used to when they had
But, yeah,
Ferguson,
but
like
that's
early
what.
years of
Yeah,
football.
but Sion, 100% agree with you because that's what fans that like Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Man City, Arsenal. They're the fans. The fans are not. The fans don't mind a day out. That's just a day
Yeah,
out to win a trophy. That's not their
yeah,
priority. For a fan of them big teams, it's winning the title and being in
yeah,
the Champions League.
yeah,
Winning a FA Cup or a League Cup, that's just a day out, and they're used to that. The
yeah.
priority for them big teams, is the top four finishing runners up or winning the Premier League and getting in the Champions League,
And
and
that's
that's
what
what
us at
Man
Man United
United
need to
need
get
to
back to.
focus on.
Yeah, both of us, like obviously 2013 for them, 2017 for us. We've not been in a title race since then. So yeah, that's
Mm.
something we need to try and get back to, but we are gonna have to build to that. What should I go to next? Pep. We might as well stick on the topic of Pep. What are our thoughts
Oh,
on
it's brilliant!
his
It's brilliant!
extension?
It's brilliant! It's so good. It's good
I
for the
think it's
Premier League.
TARDIS. I think he's achieved, I was speaking to Theo prior, he's achieved everything he can possibly. He's won football with Man City. I don't see what exactly that 2 year. I don't know what he's aiming to achieve in 2 years. It's not even a 5 year or a 6 year. I could
You know
understand
what?
if his plan was to like retire his way out of football, but it doesn't make sense. It's not very
Pep,
logical.
he's going to extend in 2027. Pep is here for that Premier League record, man. He wants to catch Ferguson.
That's the
I'm
only thing I
convinced.
can think of that
He wants to
Premier
catch
League.
Ferguson, man. You see all of this. Oh yeah, like he was saying like he would have left or he was thinking of leaving, but this sort of difficult run they're going through now has made him change his mind. I think he was always extending. If he wins this
Mm,
Premier League, he's won 7 out of 9. Fergie won the first 9 Premier Leagues. Fergie won 7 out of 9. So he knows Pep knows the record books, and he's seen that where he is now. Fergie was 6 in 8. He's 6 in 8 out of like winning 6 out of 8. So and he's only 53. He's got age on his side. He's young for a manager. Fergie was here till 71, 70. So Pep's going by that. Maybe he might not stay till then, but if he's probably just saying if I just stay till mid 60s, gives him another
is
decade.
there
He's
is
gonna be
there
at
any
City
other
for
club?
20
Is there
years.
any other club he would go to?
Like right now, you know what? I think he might look at the sort of state of football. It's not that great in terms of
It's not. He's
I used
ruined it.
when like
Let's
when
be real.
Champions
He's
League, when
actually
you look
ruined
at
it.
10 years ago, right? You looked at 10 years ago, you had 5 or 6 clubs that could win the Champions League. You couldn't really call it other than maybe Barca's dominance, where you're like they were the clear standout. But for most of the last, well, I would say excluding the last 2 3 years, where there's always sort of been a clear favorite. When you look at Man City and Real Madrid in the recent years, but 10 years ago, there were more clubs that were competing for it. So maybe you had more options, maybe for a manager. But now he's probably looked at the state of football is bad. It's bad in terms of the top caliber of clubs now. There is very scarce. So he's probably looked at it and be like, Man City's probably my best option to stay and to compete and to continue competing for Champions League, Premier League. So I think he's just here to try and catch,
The thing is,
basically
clubs
be top of the
as a
record.
whole aside, he's ruined just foot that player's abilities. I'm sorry, he's completely eliminated the number
He's
nine.
made it systematic, isn't it?
Like
Pep. Everyone wants, and
the
the thing is,
system is
everyone
gone
wants
out
to
the window.
copy him. Those days, remember, I'm used to Premier League, Kevin, Kevin Davis elbowing centre backs and stuff like that. Now everyone wants to play out from the back. I see Burnley come up. I'm like, oh yeah, Burnley look good, but surely they're not going to do it. And yeah, I knew they were going to get relegated after about 5 games because everyone's sort of gone towards his philosophy. The
People will
variation in
crucify me,
playing styles
but
now, very,
yes,
it's
naturally
very limited.
the game of football has shifted dynamically as well. But I feel like Pep, he's attributed to a lot of that. You know, we used to have two
Yeah,
strikers, then we went to one
yeah.
striker. Then Pep came in with the false
False
nine,
nines, man.
completely
False
lived it.
nines.
Like, come on,
Inverting
man.
fullbacks. All of this, man. All this inverted this, inverted that. Goalkeepers playing out from the back.
But imagine,
Well, you know,
Valdez, Victor Valdez,
his
and that. He
latest
started it.
things, his latest thing is John Stones, the way he plays him. You
Yeah.
know, like in that he sort of moves into that middle of that midfield. He's sort of it's odd. It's odd. But I think the Samson's right. You know, you go back to my generation when I was your age, the formation was 4-4-2. You know, it's
Yeah.
as simple as that. And that's what it was. But it has to generate, it has to like move on. It has to like, but I think the frustration is Pep's the only one enabling it to move on and everyone copies. No one
Yeah,
else,
yeah,
no
exactly.
one else, no one
He's a
else has
side bet,
come up.
man.
No one else has sort of started something or whatever. But then this new guy at United might generate something of an interest. You know, the biggest worry for United fans and what the Santham said was that are they going to play three at the back? Do you know what I mean? So, but you just don't know. But I just think it's good that Peppers is staying. I think it's good because of the new situation at Man United. I think there will be more manager movement. I'm going to call it now. I think Arsenal could be looking for a new manager if they don't win the league this year. I think they'll be looking for a new manager in the summer. I think Tottenham will be looking for a new manager maybe even before the end of the season.
Oh yeah, yeah, them,
You
yeah,
know,
maybe.
and I kind of sort of like, you know, wonder sort of like, well, where are they going to get these managers from? But it's what it
Yeah.
is. It's how it is, and you know, bring it on. You know, Pep might have signed another year or two because he was worried he'd win nothing this year and didn't want to go out having won nothing. But
I'll add one more thing. But briefly for Pep on Pep's thing, this is why Klopp. I've always admired Klopp because he refused. He always from Dortmund through to Liverpool, he always stuck with his playing style. He didn't care who's copying Pep, and I think he actually finished with a winning head-to-head record in terms of like their actual personal head-to-head. I think Klopp won it 11-9 or something like
yeah,
that in the end,
what
like,
was
in all
clear
their
of it, yeah.
meetings. So, and
mm,
Yeah.
then as for Pep, I think Pep knows, like obviously he will know. Obviously, most people, or I would assume most, including myself, I think he's the greatest manager of all time. I know people still have like sort of Ferguson, Pep, but I think what he wants to do, he wants to make sure he's number one in all the records across the board to try and make it as one-sided as it can be. So that's what I think. I think he's here. I think he will extend his contract again at Man City, and then before
well,
we
let's
know it,
see.
it'll be 15
Let's see.
years.
Let's see.
Yeah, because I think most people thought Man City, yeah, he's gonna do what he's done 3 years or 4 years and then leave. It was only when he extended it, I'm like 2027. He joined in 2016. 11 years is a long time for a manager to be at one club, but it doesn't feel long because obviously what Ferguson and Arsene Wenger did. But it's a long time when you look at the average lifespan of a manager now. Usually about 3 years. Man, you'll be lucky to even get 3 years. So yeah,
Right.
that's what I would say on Pep.
That's the Manchester club's done. That's the Manchester's club's done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so now, yeah, now it's just sort of now with the Prem returning back, how are we sort of feeling about our clubs? Has anyone any injuries over the
Well,
international break or anything like for
we're
anyone's
not worried
clubs?
about injuries. We're worried about the manager at West Ham.
Yeah, so basically I had so
He had
with West Ham,
two
obviously,
games to save his job, apparently. And the
because
two
yeah, I was gonna
games were
actually
Monday night, they're making the West Ham fans travel to Newcastle on a Monday night. Unbelievable, that is. So I don't hold much hope for Monday night. And then the following week, we're playing on a Saturday evening, ridiculous kickoff time again, 5:30. We're playing Arsenal, who beat us 6-0 last year at the London Stadium. So if these two matches is going to generate
hey, no,
a
look,
survivor of our
if
manager,
that's to save his
I
job, it
only
ain't looking
hope
good.
I only hope we get 4 points out of the six because anything else less is not going to survive. But I think West
Got
Ham are
two
just sort
draws.
of Sorry?
Two draws. He don't keep his job. Newcastle and Arsenal.
No,
That's tough.
no,
No,
no. Two
Woohoo!
draws.
Yeah, see you later,
that's
Lopetegui.
not
Then
just.
later, innit? Later,
The
later.
thing is, I'm in a privileged position, right? And we know that. So I've met him a few times, and like when it's positive, he comes across really well. Okay. The issue
Yep.
he's got is that too many West Ham fans are questioning what's the type of football we're playing, what's
Yeah.
the sort of formation, where are the players playing, who's leading the team, who's fighting for that. Too many players, and this is what happens in a team like West Ham. You've got limited players that have the ability to shine. When two or three of them are not playing well, you don't
Yeah.
shine. So when the likes of Kudas is having a nightmare season so far, Paquetá hasn't done much. Bowen's in and out with his form, but he's still exceptional. You're going to struggle. So it's difficult. But Newcastle away will be a tough one on a Monday night. But
And
I
are
think
there any?
I'd like
Are
to
there
see
any?
him. I'd like to see him stay. Um, but yeah, what do you think? I don't know. West
I
Ham,
was,
does he survive?
I don't.
well, if you're saying it's two games,
Well,
then
I'm not saying it.
big
That's what I'm
trouble.
hearing. That's what's all over the media. He's
Well,
got the
then,
next
then,
two
then, then
games.
I think it ain't looking good for him. Then I thought I was thinking if you had like a run us after the Newcastle and Arsenal game, if you had like a run of
Yeah,
winnable fixtures,
yeah,
then they might have given
the
him.
one after the Newcastle game and the Arsenal game is like Wolves at home. So he's got. Can we hold out? It depends how long you hold out.
Mm,
Yeah. My opinion is that they chose him. He's got to stay for the season. Make the
yeah.
call at the end of the season. Has he done what he's come in to do? Provided we don't get relegated. Yeah, as long as we don't get
Oh,
relegated,
oh, yeah, yeah.
if
No, you
if
can't.
he if he's if he, give him the season, if he's not got us back into Europe, if he's not got us in top eight, if he's not got us in the FA Cup to the quarterfinals, and we're on a relegation battle all season, then decisions need to be made. But
Mm,
people who support the club are making them decisions now. But whether it will happen or not, at the end of the day, it's a catch-22 in it. They do move him on. Who do you get?
That's what I was gonna ask. Is there any sort of like talk around the club of like obviously if with a manager in danger, there's usually always a couple of candidates lined up. Is there
Potter,
anything from the
Potter,
club?
Graham Potter.
Mm,
Would West Ham pay an amount? I might really offend some Brentford supporters here, but if West Ham offered Brentford 8 million, would they give them Thomas Frank? You know,
yeah, bigger club. Well, it's no offense. West Ham are clear of Brentford in terms of like size of the club, much
yeah,
bigger
but
than
that's what
Brentford.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But it's really difficult for me because I'm always someone that backs the manager, and regardless. And it's when do you make that decision? The longer you leave it, the less likely you're going to do it. So if he survives the next two, for me, he's got to stay the whole season
Mm,
because there's no point bringing someone new in January or February when we're already like bottom three, bottom four. They wouldn't have enough time to change it. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
yeah. So
Chelsea.
yeah, from our perspective, obviously, surprise, surprise, Reece James is injured again. Like, I think it's time to buy another right back.
You
Time,
see,
time to buy another right back. I'm sick of like
Wait,
these
it's
injuries
injured
because
again.
sorry
you
to
know what?
interrupt you.
Yeah,
Before
go
you
on.
buy a right back, the club need to address giving him and Chilwell the captaincy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, those are that's two of the worst decisions we made. We made bad decisions in the last few years. We
For
picked
me,
our
I don't know
like
about
two
you
most
guys. This is
injury
this
prone.
is my personal work thing. If you're a club captain, you should be a regular starter and you should be playing the 90 minutes.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry to just
Like
drift apart, right? I've seen it with other clubs. I'll name one, Arsenal. Martin Odegaard is our captain. Tell me why is he coming on off after the 60th minute? And it's not just one or two games. He's consistently coming. I'm sorry. Maybe this might be the modern way of football, but I don't believe in that. Your captain
you
is
know
meant to
what?
be on the pitch.
Spurs do the same with Madison. I think Madison's vice captain, and I barely see him starting games these days now. Vice captain, so
So for me,
that's
it's like
crazy.
you're
But
meant to have someone that's quite, pivotal and
mm,
anchor your team. And no offense, Chelsea have a person that gets injured all the time.
yeah,
What's Reece
Arsenal,
James done now then?
a hamstring apparently or something like that. And the thing is, with his previous injuries, they said like he was usually being rushed back. But I remember Maresca saying when he was injured like in like the start of this season that no, they've actually given him time. Like he's fit, But just to make sure to give him like the best chance to make sure they're not rushing him back or missing anything, they gave him like an extra month and a half, and now he's injured again. So now that when I heard Maresca say that, I'm like, okay, anything else now, that's the final straw, and I have to stick to that. We need to address the right back situation in January and buy a right back.
I
I'm
think what's
sorry,
even worse is that
we have to.
your club captaincy on is also being played out of position when he is playing.
Yeah,
For me,
yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, that's
Again, it's
fair
just
as
old
well.
school. I would find that very disrespectful. I'm the club captain. I am a right back. I am playing on the left side of the field.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
no,
I would
yeah,
argue it's
exactly.
not even his strongest. He probably doesn't even have a weak foot as to that caliber.
Yeah,
Over
I agree.
Colwill, Cucurella, like it doesn't
So
make sense.
now, and the thing is with the sort of shortage of like candidates that we have for captain, I can't lie, probably has to be Caicedo. Caicedo's been our best player this season, by the way. He's like obviously Cole Palmer's gonna get the headlines when he scores, but Palmer's gone missing in a couple of the big games here and there. Like Liverpool locked him up. Man United didn't even man mark him like Liverpool did, and he still didn't do much against them. Caicedo's been our best player this season when you look across all the games. And obviously he's been here. You can't really give it to someone in like their first season. He's been here now. It's his second season. So there's not really an alternative. Realistically, it should be him as our club captain, and then vice captain. To be honest, could give it to Palmer. I mean, I know Enzo's had his controversy off the pitch early part of the season or pre-season, so I mean that's a bit of a risky choice for vice captain. But it's not in terms of leadership at Chelsea. We don't really have them in abundance, to be honest. And in terms of on the pitch, it's look if without applying the context to it, it's looking good. It's looking good. We're third in the league, but I think Brentford are 11th, 3 points behind. So we must obviously
It's very
we've dropped,
tight. It's very
yeah.
tight league.
And the thing is I would say if you told me at the start of the season we'll be where we'll be, I would have said okay, no, it is fair. That's fair enough. I wouldn't. It's not like
It's an
the previous two
sorry,
years.
Phil.
Yeah, go on.
It's an interesting league when you talk about that. You're in third and they're in 11th.
League's
If you
tight.
go from
Yeah,
11th down to the bottom by
yeah,
one or two clubs,
mhm,
teams are taking points off of each other a lot.
yeah.
So there's really, apart from like Liverpool,
Hmm.
there's like it's very congested from the top to the bottom.
Yeah,
So it raises the point of like, if you do look at it and you go back to the managers that are under pressure, if they pick up 3 points and then maybe draw the next game, they're higher than clubs that have not even mentioned their manager under any pressure.
yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? So it's very tight. Very
Mhm.
so you've got to give it time to sort of open up. But I think what's the problem is with it, and this is my theory. And I don't know if any of you agree with this. My theory of why this season is different and it's so tight is because we've had 3 international breaks.
I agree.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous. It's
yeah, yeah.
absolutely
Sicko.
ridiculous
Hmm.
because we're not getting any consistency into any team to go on a run. Yes, maybe Liverpool, whatever. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, if you're constantly having a break after every 3 or 4 games, you come back, you're going to. Again, this weekend's results will be interesting. I think there'll be 1 or 2 results that no one will
Yeah,
call,
yeah.
and I think it's because of these international breaks. Now, we haven't got another international break, I'm here, until March.
Mm,
So at least we might get between now and then a
yeah,
run. Yes, we might have the FA Cup third round in January, and it'll be congested at Christmas again, and players will be complaining, But I think that's the real reason because when you look at it, if you didn't know the league table, I don't think, no disrespect, Sion, as much as Chelsea have played well, they're inconsistent. No one would put
yeah.
them third in the league.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
No
Not
one would
even,
suddenly think,
not
oh,
even
are
me.
they really third? Oh my God, they're
Yeah,
third. But when you actually look at the table, they can quite easily, after Saturday and Sunday's results,
could
be
be
10th.
ninth, 10th. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So it's that. So that's what you got, and that's where I think it's going to be a fascinating few weeks, and it's going to be a fascinating Christmas period where the league table will really. Yes, we know the top 2 or 3 will still be there, but I think 2 or 3 clubs could really drop into that sort of bottom 4 or 5 that will be unexpected. Because at the
yeah,
moment, people like we're talking about West Ham, we could go Monday night and beat Newcastle. That could happen, but that'd be an odd result. Like, do you know what I mean? It's that sort of, Ipswich at home on a Sunday,
yeah. Well,
generating
Ipswich went to
atmosphere.
Spurs
Could beat
and
Man
got
United.
3 points for the
Yeah,
international break. Mhm.
yeah. The
And
international break certainly didn't help their momentum
yeah, no, it's
after
true.
winning at Tottenham.
with
But no, it's an interesting point.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, go on,
But
Sion.
yeah,
I know we haven't got
just to
any.
wrap up on Chelsea, yeah, we need 3 points. We've got Leicester. We've just come out of a quite a tough run to be honest. Like,
Oh,
but we've gone to Anfield. Luckily, we got
you're away,
Newcastle
aren't you?
the
Away at
lineup.
Leicester. Is it away at
Away at
Leicester?
Leicester, 12:30
Early
kick.
first game, isn't it? First game.
Yeah, yeah. So we need to start like we've dropped points at home to Palace. We drew 1-1. Forest. So the sort of teams we should be beating. Obviously, Forest having a fantastic season away at the Emirates this weekend. So we need to start being consistent against the teams we should be beating to try and hopefully pull away from this cluster of teams because it's crazy. I didn't expect Arsenal to be here with us, to be honest. So welcome back, Arsenal, to the trenches of the top four race. Your time at the top is looking over. So yeah, we love to see it. And then we'll just look into like some of the standout games. I think Forest Arsenal. I don't know. That's a game. I think is that game of the weekend, or am I missing something? Man
Yeah,
City
Maybe,
Spurs.
it's
Not
at the
maybe.
Arsenal, isn't it? It's at the
really.
Ben
Arsenal.
Ben White
So
is out for the rest of the year. Don't know how that's going to play out for them. Who's going to play
Mhm.
out right back? Tomiyasu.
Yeah, but yeah, I think
Oh,
I
wait,
think
maybe
Arsenal will win it
Spurs.
because it's
I
at
feel like
the
Man City
Emirates. It's at
Spurs,
the Emirates.
even though it shouldn't be.
Man City Spurs. The thing is, you know what, man, Spurs have somewhat been a bit of a weird team for City. But have you seen the injuries, Van der Ven and these guys? Van der Ven, like that is crucial because for them balls in behind for a foot race with Haaland, that he would have been the one you would have been sort of relying on to sort of keep up with him any like counters or anything like that. And
And again,
Spurs are in trouble. Spurs are
you
in
look
trouble.
at that. This is another situation similar to West Ham with the manager. If Tottenham players respect the manager and agree with the manager and love the manager, they will play and do a performance at Man City. They may still not win, but it's key is the performance. Because if he loses that heavy and there's no performance from Tottenham, he's another manager that's in trouble.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
because you would expect a manager of his quality, allegedly, and I think he's good anyway,
Yeah, me too.
um, should be able to motivate them after the Ipswich defeat when they're playing at the Champions. He should be able to get them up and playing. So I
Mm.
think that's an interesting game to look at. Who Liverpool got?
Liverpool are playing Southampton away. Hey, Liverpool. I think they
We
got
don't need to discuss that.
I think
That
I
could be a
think
funny
the
result,
week
but I'm not.
after is the most important fixtures.
that.
I think
If
that one's
is that
different.
Liverpool Man City?
No, that one is it's Chelsea,
That's
Aston Villa. I can't remember who the other one is.
but what's it?
And
Obviously,
then
we got this.
there's another round of fixtures after next weekend in the middle of the week.
That's the midweek
Yeah,
games. Yeah, we're playing after
and
today.
not this Sunday coming.
The
Liverpool
Sunday after.
After Southampton they host City next week
Yeah, the whole
Sunday.
thing. So
Anfield.
I'm saying in terms of top four, you've got
Mm.
Chelsea in top four, Villa just outside, and then you've got Liverpool, Man City on top. I think that's where the dynamics will be
If you
determined.
know what, it might still be early, and I know City are capable of winning 10, 15 games in a row. But if Liverpool beat Southampton and then beat City at home, I think I
People will
think
start calling the
I think
title.
Liverpool.
People
Yeah,
will
if he
start
I
calling
think
them for
yeah,
the title.
I
yeah,
think
If
and the thing is,
if
is
they
that
beat Southampton and beat City, everyone
yeah,
will be calling it's Liverpool's title.
they'll be 8 points clear of City, I think. And the thing is, we've
And they
seen
haven't
with
and they played City. Would that be at Anfield or
it's at
City?
Anfield.
Anfield. It's at
Anfield.
Anfield. That is the last 5 pointer before first 20 pound of the season gets awarded for our predictions. That's the last game.
Well, after last week's revelations, Sion, from your family, I think you should be banned from predictions because you're meant to be a working lad. How you find
Hey,
time to
nah,
listen
nah,
to all these
don't hate, man.
predictions and
Listen,
then
for our
copy
viewers,
all
yeah,
these
I was
people
done
on
in this league.
or
I was
copy all
done
these
3 weeks
people on the
ago.
telly and on
I was done
YouTube?
3 weeks
They're
ago,
not
and
even
now I'm
your
1 point off the
predictions.
top.
They're not even
I'm
your
1 point off the top,
predictions.
man. Greatest score predictor
You
of all
copied
time.
from
Yeah.
everyone else. Apparently he listens to prediction podcasts while he's in the
Nah, nah,
shower.
nah, 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 nah,
Unbelievable what I was
nah,
hearing.
man. Hating,
That's what
hating.
I'm
Because
saying. It's not
if
even
I
his
if I
own
copied,
predictions.
if I copied, I'll be getting it wrong. Because I picked up like 18 points last week, the
Right.
last
So you're
game week.
saying that all
18
these people
points.
you listen to get
And
it
and
wrong.
and just obviously I won't say my score, but I will be predicting a Liverpool win for that City game. I will be, and I know I ain't changing my mind on
Well,
that.
that's not even this weekend. Don't tell me you've done next weekend's
Nah,
predictions
nah, nah, nah. I've
already.
done this weekend's
Then I'll
one.
be
I've done
really
this weekend's one.
concerned that,
And I've chopped and changed. I'm doing the Pep tinkering in my head. Oh, like what do I do
have you
here?
done yours for this weekend?
Sorted. Yeah, yeah. All done. All
Yeah,
done.
so's mine. Mine's all done because I'm going away.
Mine's all done.
So
Scheduled for
mine's all
eleven
done.
thirty, 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Scheduled for. There's no game tonight. So yeah, we'll see how predictions go this week, and we'll see how the Premier League unfolds as well.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we'll be back again soon. Anything to add before we wrap up?
No, just do your own predictions, Sion.
Of course I do. Of course I do. That's
Lovely.
on the best. Take care, everyone. Like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you all again soon.